Hello everybody, welcome to the Wonky Angle where I talk about electronic music, both new and old. And today I'm talking about the new album from the Break Science program. Break Science, Grid of Souls. Break Science is the duo of drummer Adam Deitch and keyboardist Borum Lee. These guys have been around for a while. I first discovered them since they were label mates of Pretty Lights, back in the day when the old Pretty Lights music label was still a thing. They're also both performers on Pretty Lights' live band, and I think Michael Mennert's as well. So prior to this album's release, they had two EPs called Further Than Our Eyes Can See and Monolith Code that I thought were honestly pretty lackluster and kinda skippable. But they also had an EP with Michael Menard called Twilight Frequency that was pretty awesome. And of course there was their debut album Seven Bridges, which some people may remember from, well, this video. Yeah, Seven Bridges is one of my favorite albums of all time. It was one of the albums that allowed me to discover that I was capable of enjoying hip-hop music. The first album that had straight rap tracks on it that I could really get into. Stuff like Brain Reaction, Trapeze, Connected, Who Got It, She Got It, Who Got It, She Got It, Who Got It. These tracks all hit so hard, and in a way, even the younger me who didn't like hip-hop could understand, even though my favorite tracks weren't typically ones with rapping on them. Stuff like Breath of Space, Chronovisor, Nasty, Looking at Hourglass. But yes, every track on here was great. The production on that album was absolutely incredible and still holds up as amazing to this day. But by the same token, Break Science are also not a band that I had been super hyped for the idea of a new release. Like, these guys haven't released anything else I've already mentioned to my knowledge, and Seven Bridges came out all the way back in 2013. Not to mention, as I said, I was not really crazy about their EPs. There was always a little part of me wondering if maybe the album was a fluke, and since they were in the Pretty Lights crowd, they fell victim to that period in my life where I stopped caring about Pretty Lights and all the other people who made similar music to him, besides Michael Menard, who survived all that somehow, but I digress. Point is, I wasn't really paying attention to Break Science all that closely until I think either Menard or Pretty Lights himself started spreading the word that a new album of theirs was on the way. I figured may as well give it a shot. I wasn't really expecting them to live up to the same height as Seven Bridges, especially after this long a wait, but I was still excited to hear what they would come up with. And after hearing the album, while I don't think it's better than Seven Bridges, I can at least confirm that the album was absolutely not a fluke, and they've delivered another set of 10 great tracks here. Now on top of that, this album shows them moving in a slightly different direction. While Seven Bridges was a lot dirtier and grimier and immersed itself in its hip-hop aesthetics, Grid of Souls goes for a shinier and poppier direction, embracing the more electronic and EDM-ish side of their sound, but still very much sounding like the same guys who brought you Seven Bridges. Their general sound palette isn't all that different. You still got a fair bit of live instrumentation and hip-hop influence permeating through their stuff. Just now, the tracks themselves are shinier and happier. And I just had an absolute blast with this thing. Their production is just as top-notch as it was before, always super intense and bombastic, but also melodic and beautiful. They always fill the full sonic spectrum and do an excellent mixing and mastering job. It never feels overbearing at any point, just perfectly produced for me to be able to most easily get into. Not exactly the smartest of albums, but it's clear that Deitch and Lee put forth a lot of effort into this and getting it to sound great. Now, admittedly, this isn't precisely an album that provides me with a lot of material to discuss in depth. I mean, it's pretty short, only 10 tracks and none of them breaking the 5-minute barrier, but let's talk about some of these tracks. First of all, let's talk about the guest features on here. You got Raquel Rodriguez, who sang on that most recent Moby album. You got the rapper Probcause, who appeared on Grammatic's Epigram EP that I reviewed quite a while ago. You got Brass Tracks, who produced Chance the Rapper track, No Problem, among other appearances they've had. The indie rock synth-pop band Paperwhite, saxophonist Carl Denson, Lanisha Randolph, who's a backup singer for Lauryn Hill, and also the funk band Lettuce, who Adam Deitch also happens to be a member of himself. Granted, I wasn't really thinking about any of the features while I was listening to this. All I know is that when the first track, Cruise Control, came on, I was initially taken aback to hear what sounded like a light piano ballad, then growing into a bombastic and bright EDM anthem, starting the album off on an excellent note right from the get-go. That track was freaking amazing, and there were even more highlights as the album went on. Android Love with Lettuce. It's a hard-hitting disco number, featuring the full band, of course. I think there's even a horn section in this one, with some nice vocoder vocals on the side. Crazy Lately, that's the track with Prob Cause, and his rapping is really nice. This track is one of the catchiest on here as well. The track Light Shine Down was also a major highlight for me as well. That's the track with Carl Denson and Lanisha Randolph. It's one of the faster-paced tracks on here, and the latter's vocal contributions are among the best on the whole album. Also, there's some great flute sounds on this one that I love. The track with Brass Tracks, Anthony Mason, it's not a huge standout for me, but it is a really hard-hitting and fun track, and also the closer, Force of Nature with Paperwhite. I'm also off and on whether I like it or love it, but I will not deny it is among the catchiest tracks on here. The track Make a Move with CTZN and April Sachet, neither of which I've ever heard of or could find much information on. It's admittedly one of the lower ranked tracks on here. The latter guest is a really nice singer, fits well on here. The rapper CTZN, he's okay. It bugged me a little bit in the beginning when he referred to some girl he's talking to as Queen. That was like, dude. But whatever, it's a nitpick. In terms of the stuff Break Science did by themselves, there are 3 tracks here without any featuring credits, being Reno, Guiding Light, and Supermoon. Of those 3, Guiding Light is unquestionably my favorite. It's, again, the catchiest. I really love the sample on that one. Reno reminds me quite a bit of the track Chronovisor from Seven Bridges. It's a lot more ethereal and jazzy, while also hard-hitting at the same time, because of course. The hook on this one, Escape from Real Time. It's not one of the better ones on here, but the track still sounds really good. My least favorite track on here, though, is probably Supermoon, if only for the reason that they utilize that stock snap sound effect that you hear in, like, every pop song these days, and I really wish people would hang up that snap sound and leave it the hell alone at this point. There are a couple of moments on this album where the percussion tracks fall a little on the generic pop side, but Supermoon's the one where it sticks out to me the most. Otherwise, though, this track is a really nice chill track, and I do certainly enjoy this one as well. So yeah, overall, that's about all I have to say on the topic of this album. While I still think Seven Bridges was better in general, it was more unique sounding, had more variety. This one's a little poppier and more commercial. I still think this album is a ton of fun from start to finish. I think the production is excellent, and I'm glad we really got a solidified confirmation that Break Science are no joke, and Seven Bridges wasn't just a fluke. These guys are the real deal, and I would say for anyone who's a fan of any of those Pretty Lights types of artists, or just in the mood for some really awesome melodic pump-up music, go check it out at your earliest convenience. Awesome stuff here, looking forward to whatever these guys plan on doing next. And I'm overall feeling a solid 8 out of 10. But of course, this is just my opinion, you can feel free to disagree with it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, so leave the comments in the comment thing down there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all for today, see you next time.